Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about how gun laws absolutely do not work except for those who actually obey the law. So what am I talking about? So less than a week ago in Times Square, there was a shooting of 3 individuals by a 17-year-old. Now that 17-year-old has been arrested. I'm about to go over some of these things. This is coming from the New York Times, and we're going to discuss why none of their super stringent, almost dictatorship gun laws, why they just didn't work. Because, well, they just don't work. All right, but first, as always, listen down in the description below will be a link to the merch store. Go pick up some awesome merch. Of course, we have Patreon and locals and all that. And you can become a member right here on YouTube. At the very least, it costs you no money. Leave a comment on the video. Let me know what you guys think. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and toggle the notification bell, ensuring you're always getting notified when I put up a new video or when I go live. All right, before I forget, a special thanks to Tactical Snacks, who sent me a couple of their awesome boxes of gummies where they only have 3 grams of sugar per bag and over 8 grams of protein per bag. So if you're someone like me and you like snacking throughout the day, when you get that little sweet tooth itch, instead of eating some crap garbage candy out there that you pick up at Walgreens or CVS, grab yourself some Tactical Snacks. Again, 3 grams of sugar for this entire bag and 8 grams of protein. Special thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. All right, so let's get into it. So 3 people were hurt in a shooting in Times Square overnight, New York police say. This happened just about a week ago, around August 9th. According to NYPD, 2 teenagers and a 65-year-old man were shot on 44th Street near 7th Avenue when a gunman opened fire early Saturday morning in the heart of Manhattan. I don't understand how this happens, because I've gone for my New York permit, and I'm sure many of you have. And you know that they stress you can't have a gun inside Times Square. It is a strict no-no. Now, a 17-year-old suspect was taken into custody and is facing a number of charges, including attempted murder, assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and reckless endangerment. The suspect's identity has not been released due to his age. Well, it's illegal for a 17-year-old to have a handgun, so he can't buy it. He legally can't have one. Not only is it New York law, it is federal law. How did he get one? Oh, that's right. He broke the law. He bypassed it by not obeying the law, because that's what criminals do. All of these gun laws they put into place do little to nothing to stop crime. All they do is hem up the law-abiding citizen, the individual who normally day to day tries to obey the law to the best of their ability. That's what these laws are designed to do. Not gun control, just control. They say you, as a NYC permit holder or a non-resident permit holder, you can't take a gun to Times Square. So if you go to Times Square, well, you know as a law-abiding citizen you can't have a gun. So you're unarmed. But the criminals don't give a shit. They're going to bring the gun, and then you're just a victim. That's how it works. Gun laws prevent the law-abiding citizen from being able to defend themselves or carry in different areas where they would need to. It does nothing or little to stop criminals, because, as we all know, even when the criminal is caught, usually they reduce the charges, or they nollie them, or dismiss them altogether due to age, especially here in Connecticut. 15, 16, 17-year-olds, if they're caught, robbing FFLs, things like that, they get 3 years in juvie. At 18, their records are just wiped clean like nothing ever happened, and they are back to doing whatever they want to do as an adult. Their records are expunged. That's stupid. And this year we tried to stop that. We tried to make it to where 15, 16, and 17-year-olds, if you are caught with certain crimes like having a gun, assaulting, felony assault, things like that, that your records don't get expunged and that you get treated very much like an adult. But no, the Democrats didn't want to do that, and it died in committee. So at least we know that when these gangs throughout the state of Connecticut hire or get kids to do the crime for them, that in a couple of years, their records will be wiped clean and they'll be back at it. And it's just a vicious cycle. According to witnesses told CBS News New York, a fight broke out in Raising Cane's restaurant in Times Square at the corner of 44th and 7th. It happened around 1:20 a.m. and appeared to involve a group of about 15 teenagers who rolled up on city bikes and entered the restaurant, they said. What witness said? That some of the teenagers asked for their friend for $2, but she told them she didn't have any money. All right, this is a quote, and I quote, "And then as we were waiting to get our food, they all ran out and stuff, and they're just like fighting," witness Angus Rodriguez said. Oh, it's rough. Witness said that they heard 3 gunshots after the brawl spilled outside. "We literally thought it was fake, and we thought it was just like a firecracker or some sort of fireworks. We didn't believe it," one witness said. Officers at nearby post also heard the gunshots and responded. There was a short pursuit, and the suspect was caught about a block away at 44th and 8th. 2 bystanders were injured. A 19-year-old man was shot in the foot. An 18-year-old woman from Maryland suffered a grazed wound to the neck. A 65-year-old man from New Jersey was shot in the leg, according to police. They were all hospitalized in stable condition. Police say the 19-year-old was the gunman's target, but the other 2 victims were just innocent bystanders. Investigators said the shooting occurred after the suspect got into an argument with the older teen and that the gun was recovered from the scene. Police said it was not immediately clear if the suspect and the victims knew each other before the shooting. Times Square is one of New York's gun-free zones, created in 2022 under the sweeping state law that bans firearms in so-called sensitive locations. But street vendors say shootings continue to happen in this area. Again, I'm going to tell you, gun laws don't work if you're not willing to obey them. And only the law-abiding citizen obeys these stupid, arbitrary laws. Criminals don't care, and they get away with it. And that's how bad things happen. And then the law-abiding citizen is just a victim. They have no recourse. They have no way to protect themselves. You are just hoping and praying to God that if anything does go down, NYPD shows up to save you. But again, it has been proven in court cases, and the Supreme Court has said, the NYPD, along with every other cop in America, has no duty to protect you. The gun they have, their sidearm, is for their protection, not yours. Remember, when cops show up, they're usually investigating the crime after it happened. You're always going to be your first responder. Cops show up when everything's said and done. That's just the way it is. So, and that's why I avoid things like Times Square or other gun-free zones where I'm not allowed to carry, because to me, carrying a firearm is like an American Express. You never leave home without it. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I have for you in this video. I just wanted to kind of vent on how gun laws don't work, especially being an NYC non-resident permit holder, where we are not allowed to carry a firearm into Times Square, yet the criminals still do. Bad things still happen, and God forbid you carry one to defend yourself. You will be fully prosecuted, whilst the criminals get away with impunity, because, well, that's just New York. That's just the way it is. All right. Again, a special thanks to Tactical Snacks for sending me out all these awesome treats. They are super tasty. Down in the description below will be a link to their store. I get nothing out of it, but you guys get some healthy, tasty snacks. Remember, 3 grams of sugar per bag and 8 grams of protein. They are awesome. So go to war with the candy industry and pick up some Tactical Snacks. All right, I'll see all of you in the next video.